This impact on the run game bolstered a stagnant offense, and playing with the lead then gave the defense a big advantage. So, Shannon, did the Eagles just happen to play better, or was Hurts the reason why the team played better?
Well, I think anytime the quarterback gets a lot of the credit when things go well, and he gets a lot of the blame when things go bad. Skip, but I thought he made plays, but the defense played better. Pro Football Focus, Skip, they mentioned in this article, it was the first game this year in which the Eagles receivers didn't record a drop. Let that sink in for a second, Skip. They played how many games? 11, 12 games now? And this was the first game they didn't have a drop. The defense was unbelievable. The way they got after Taysom Hill, sacking him, forcing fumbles, neutralizing the run game. Alshon made a play. Skip, I can't remember the last time Alshon made a play was in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And he made plays. So, look, quarterbacks do give you a spark. There's something about having a guy on the field that you feel, you know what, we can't get beat today. When 7 was under center, Elway, John, y'all not beating us. And maybe Jalen gives them that belief. Maybe, Skip, they've been struggling for so long and things have been going so bad with Wentz for such a long time. Just a new glimpse of light was what they needed. But, Skip, we haven't seen the defense play like what they played against the Saints, who was the hottest team in football. We hadn't seen that defense play like that. We haven't seen Dougie P call a game like he called. So if you want to say Hurts was the reason why, okay, fine. But a lot of things were the best we had seen from the Eagles in a very long time.
Agreed. So I know you still love your man Carson Wentz. I've always loved my man Jalen Hurts. I say it was absolutely no coincidence that Philly suddenly played its best overall game of the year because of the presence of Jalen Hurts. They didn't drop a ball because he was under center in the huddle on the sideline. The defense rose to the occasion just because they knew psychologically, he's in control and in command. We can see it in his body language. They knew it from play number 1. He had this. You can just see it and feel it. He has natural-born leadership.
Yeah, he's a leader.
Miles Sanders sat up there after the game and just said, hey, he said natural leader. He's just a natural leader. Just check the tape. He just has always made plays with legs and arm. He did it at Alabama, more with legs than arm. But then at Oklahoma, he used both. 52 touchdowns a year ago at Oklahoma. Whew. And a bunch of them, 32 of them through the air, but 20 of them came with his legs.
That was more than Kyler, right?
Yep. He outdid Kyler, those 3 quarterbacks in a row, Baker, Kyler. They kept putting up a little better numbers each time. That may have a lot to do with Lincoln Riley, but his finished product coming out of college was this young man, Jalen Hurts. His father was his high school coach. He's a coach's son who thinks like a coach on the field. You could just see from the first play, he was not afraid of the New Orleans Saints. They came in the #1 defense, #1 sacks over the last month. They're like a force of nature, and I thought it was the worst place you could throw a kid into that fire for a bad football team that was really struggling, that had lost its last 4 against a team that had won its last 9 games, and he slowly but surely just took the game over. I'm not saying he has Carson Wentz's arm, because he does not. He is not 6'5", 240 pounds.
Right.
He's 6'2", 225, but he is put together. He is weight room strong, and he is mentally strong.
Well, Skip, sometimes what you need, you don't need all those physical attributes are great to have. But if you got teammates that believe in you, that's what you need. And you look at the way they played, Skip, every mistake that New Orleans made, Philly made them play. Quan Alexander goes back during a handoff. Miles Sanders hit his head on the goalpost. Marshawn Lattimore.
82 yards.
Marshawn Lattimore is he has one-on-one coverage with Alshon. Why would you be on top of Alshon when all he catches, Skip, is 50-50 ball back shoulders? That's his play. So you know that. So you guess what? You're going to play out of position. You're going to be on top of me, thinking I'm going to go deep when Alshon can't outrun me?
So Alshon makes that play when, for Carson, I think he lost some faith in Carson, and maybe subliminally he doesn't believe he can make that catch.
What was that? The other night, I think was the Monday night game, Skip. We saw Carson hit him on the back shoulder, and he dropped it.
He did. They dropped a bunch of balls. They did not help Carson at all. But in impact, to me, Jalen Hurts is Tebow-esque, but I don't want you to compare Tebow to Jalen Hurts because they're very different packages. I'm talking about in will, in force of personality. It's equal impact because Jalen does it. He doesn't wear his emotions on his sleeve. He's a very quiet leader, but he has strength in the huddle that they gravitate to. And again, with Tebow, I think they all thought he was a little wacky, you know, like, but he's like magic.
Right.
Oh, in the last 2 minutes, he's just going to take every game over in 2011. Right. This guy takes the game over from the start and just keeps on keeping on making plays. Big plays, 3rd down, 4th down plays, as you saw. The escape from the end zone the other day on 2nd 11 from the 3, and he goes 13 yards and gets them out of jail. That's Jalen Hurts.
Right.
That's the guy I came to love in college.
And Skip, but Pro Football Focus said he had the second worst passing grade by an Eagle quarterback this season.
Okay, that's why I said it's kind of Tebow-esque because he's not a great thrower of the football, but he's an effective thrower of the football. And he made the throw to Rager, and he made the throw to Alshon that won the game.
But, Skip, even though there were a lot of incompletions, I don't remember seeing him put the ball in harm's way where you thought the Saints might get a pick.
Nope.
He made the one mistake.
Made one mistake later. You just got to protect it when they're going to punch it out. And he was just trying to kill the clock at that point. And if you take that away, he played a clean football game.
I agree.
So, in the end, I think a rising tide of Jalen Hurts has lifted all boats in Philadelphia.
All right, we'll have to see. Guys, you'll never guess what LeBron had to say about last night's Ravens-Browns game. Yes, he was tweeting about it. What does Skip have to say about this?
What you mean, what was that?
That I've held for 30 years. I hate field goal kicking because I hate the notion that a game between warriors who fight it out for almost 60 minutes comes down to this little guy running onto the field who's usually a soccer player by background.
And that's the only position he's ever played.
Can't play any position in your sport, does not belong in your sport except to kick the ball off the ground up through gimmicky uprights, which has always been weird to me. It's silly. It's beneath the dignity of football. And I've always said just eliminate place kicking, extra points and field goals, and just play it out. Now, it wouldn't have worked last night because Lamar would have had to go down and score it in the end zone, get the ball in the end zone. I'm fine with punting. And by the way, punters are always more athletic and bigger men than field goal kickers because they have to catch the ball and then they often have to go
sometimes they throw a pass, sometimes they take off running with it.
So they've always been much better athletes. They're always very good golfers. But the place kickers, eliminate this except for because, look, it's weighted too much on the scoreboard. Their value is way too high because they win and lose games. And by the way, we haven't talked about this, but Cody Parkey last night, he missed a 39-yard field goal, very makeable, and then missed an extra point. Okay, there's 4 points. Did that not impact the game in a negative way for the Cleveland Browns? You can say that he lost the game for the Cleveland Browns, that ultimately Justin Tucker won. Okay, now I'm going to explain to you why, because I can't change this rule, why I would pay Justin Tucker quarterback money. And I'm being straight with you. Justin Tucker is worth $30 to $35 million. If I were an owner of a football team, I would say, I want that guy. I'm going to go get him, and I'm going to pay him quarterback money because he wins and loses a lot of games.
Yes.
Well, how much magnitude does he have? How much impact on the scoreboard or my ultimate record? I told you last year, Brett Maher, Brett the Fret, was the worst kicker in pro football. And my Cowboys went 8-8 with him and could have gone 10-6 if he had made some of those kicks. Well, it ends up impacting your record. Does Jerry Jones think that? No.